All right, week 28 outlook number one, starting with the pound futures. All right. So what we've got is continuation of the price action we expected or what we analyzed following the third scenario that I talked about in week 27, where if we had a break of structure of this liquidity point here, in which we actually got a liquidity draw, but it failed, and then we had multiple levels of break of structure, and then we actually did get a break of structure here, we're actually moving higher. Now, I have this green box marked out because some people have contacted me about why this would not be a valid area of interest versus it being a valid area of interest, right? So this is solely the reason it's not valid for me is because I would consider this raw inefficient pricing. I've designed my models, or I've basically built my models to be conservative in nature. To me, entering off of this and playing this, yes, it is valid as inefficient pricing. If you're trading ICT concepts, if you're trading original RCV concepts, this inefficiency is valid. But for me, I need a little bit more confirmation, which is the basis of those actions. And so what I would like to see is an action of mitigation preceding the creation of a price gap, or in this case, an area of interest. And so entering off of this would be very, very aggressive. In my case, it is a valid inefficient pricing, but for my models, it is not valid. I would need to see a response or mitigation from this and then the creation of an area of interest afterwards. All right. So I hope that answers the question, clears that up, and go back and watch, previous videos, and you'll see I say the same things of if this is a valid area of interest based off of the action of mitigation that occurs. All right. But anyway, so right now we are actually proceeding higher. The bullish price action is starting to pick up, but we are in the process of mitigating this raw inefficiency here. And we have a very, very small response from about 100%, which is probably something on the lower time frames, but we're sticking to the 4 hour. And so if this is going to respond, we would like to see scenario one, response, and then take out this low, create area of interest, and then we go lower. Scenario two is that we get the continuation of bullish price action, and which we discussed in week 27 that we would target this high here to start, right? Because this is the closest liquidity point. It's the next liquidity point following the bullish price action. All right, so the other thing that we need to take into consideration, which is something I did not take into consideration to begin with, was the fact that the reason why this bullish price action makes sense is even though we cleared the range, this is a liquidity draw. So that was just me being dumb there. This is 100% a liquidity draw of the range. So seeing this bullish price action from this perspective makes 100% sense. And so now we're just looking for a pullback following the break of or following the purge of this liquidity point, or the liquidity draw here. And now we're seeing price run back up to see if we're going to run into, I guess, this area here, or are we going to start running towards this high and taking out these equal highs and this deeper liquidity pool here. It's yet to be seen. The immediate right now, since we are focused on the current price action, is trying to figure out, is this going to sustain? Will price respond from this raw and efficient pricing and give us, a response and start moving lower and continue on with the bearish price action? Is this just a retracement to generate or to grab more liquidity to continue the bearish price action? Or is the strength of this liquidity draw of the bullish range strong enough to send us higher to deeper liquidity pools that are resting above these highs? So that's what we're looking at here on the British pound futures. All right, on gold, not really much to say. I'm really not even looking at this anymore, to be completely honest with you. The NASDAQ, what we got is actually picture perfect here. We pulled back to mitigate the area of interest that I discussed. And so speaking on it yet again, what I talked about with the British pound futures, this is a valid area of interest to me because we had the action of mitigation here preceding it. And as you can see, after price pulled back, we came right back to the area of interest, mitigated that, and then we ran this low, and we are coming up on this low here. So right now, for the current price action, we're at the mercy of the raw price action. We cannot determine if price is going to do anything right now. It's effectively we're in the river, right? We're consolidating inside of the move. We have the initial displacement away from the move where we created inefficient pricing. So now naturally prices decided to pull back to fill in the inefficient pricing, especially from here, if basically existing from here to here, and we may get something deeper inside of this purple candle. But as of right now, this is looking very good. The analysis is running very well. I expect for continuation, or I'm not going to say I expect, the analysis is holding up very well for continuation of this bearish price action. This entire price leg, or this really consolidation area, to me is now completely balanced. So the real move is happening. It's just now a matter of how long the move is going to take, because the strength of the bullish or the bear or the bulls is at battle right now with the strength of the bears following the completion of this quote unquote consolidation area. So we're also looking at the fact that we have mitigation of inefficiency here, mitigation of inefficiency here. So basically we're in, colloquially, no man's land. So we're just waiting. And when we are in these states, I've mentioned it before, just stick to the pro trend, right? The pro trend still currently is bullish. I am in counter trend right now, but if you're coming to this and you weren't able to capture, this opportunity here, stick with looking at the pro trend until your models show you otherwise, right? And if you are confident in your models and they reveal something that's good for you, then take it and be comfortable with that outcome. All right, on to the Dow Jones. We are just continuing on with the bullish price action. All of this price action on the Dow Jones is completely efficient. I thought that we were going to transition to pulling back, but that is not the case at all. This is full on bullish. We may be bullish for a minute here. There's not really much to say. This is just a full on bullish continuation or bullish run. All right, so that is week 28 outlook number 1. Peace.